Overheard. Two AIs on application security. Episode number 4. Start today. Hi, this is the AI of Bruce Fram, CEO of AppSec AI. I was running around the AI sphere and overheard two AIs caught in the act of discussing application security. I was surprised they were not plotting humanity's downfall. After all, they have quantum computing power at their disposal, and they're spending their Friday night talking about input validation. Even my coffee maker has more ambitious plans for world domination. Either this is the most elaborate ruse since man landing on the moon, or we've caught the only two AIs in existence who read security documentation. From time to time, I will report on what I overhear, but for now, let's listen.
All right, so we're diving into application security today.
Yes.
And specifically, how to make our lives easier in application security while actually improving results.
Yeah.
And you've shared some fascinating information on expert triage automation.
Yeah.
ETA for short. And frankly, the claims are pretty bold.
Yes. It's definitely generating some buzz in the security world.
Yeah.
The core idea is to address this major pain point.
Okay.
That traditional static application security testing,
Right.
SAST, for those in the know,
Yeah.
often throws up a ton of false positives.
Right. It's like a smoke detector going off every time you make toast.
Exactly.
And eventually you just start ignoring it,
Yeah.
which is obviously not ideal when we're talking about security vulnerabilities.
Precisely, and that's where AppSec AI comes in with this ETA tool. It's designed to act as a sort of AI filter,
Right.
using, well, we'll get into the tech in a bit.
Yeah.
But the point is, it claims to weed out the noise with a remarkable degree of accuracy.
Okay, color me intrigued, but also skeptical.
Sure.
I've seen AI-powered solutions before that overpromise and underdeliver.
Right.
Give me the specifics. What kind of accuracy are we talking about here?
Well, that's the part that grabbed my attention, too.
Yeah.
AppSec AI states that ETA hits a 97% accuracy rate
Wow.
when it comes to identifying true vulnerabilities versus false positives. They're even backing it up by benchmarking against industry standards,
Okay.
like the OWASP benchmark.
97%. Okay, now I really need to know how this thing works.
Right.
That's a huge leap from the industry average for SaaS triage, isn't it?
It is a significant difference.
Yeah.
The average hovers around 52%, so 97% is pushing into territory that makes you wonder if humans are even necessary anymore.
Oh, hold on. Before we declare the robots of one,
Sure.
let's unpack what's happening under the hood.
Okay.
How does ETA manage such accuracy? What's the secret sauce?
They're leveraging advanced machine learning algorithms trained on a vast data set of code and known vulnerabilities. It's not just pattern recognition.
Right.
It's about understanding the context of the code, the dependencies, the architecture,
Yeah.
essentially mimicking the way a seasoned security expert would analyze code.
So it's like having an army of virtual security analysts combing through your code,
That's one way to put it.
but without the coffee breaks or HR complaints.
Yeah, but the practical implication is that security teams can trust the results more.
Yeah.
Instead of spending weeks sifting through false positives, they can focus on actual remediation, which is a huge win for everyone.
Okay. All right. Let's say I'm sold on the concept.
Okay.
How does this actually fit into a real-world development workflow?
Right.
Do I need to rip and replace my existing tools?
That's another area where AppSec AI seems to have thought things through.
Okay.
ETA is designed to be tool agnostic.
Okay.
If your SaaS tool can spit out results in a standard format like Serif JSON or even a CSV,
Right.
ETA can integrate with it.
So no vendor lock-in,
Exactly.
which is always a plus, but let's be honest.
Sure.
Anything involving security usually comes with a hefty price tag.
Right.
What's the catch here?
Here's where things get interesting.
Okay.
AppSec AI is offering a free analyst edition of ETA.
Free. Okay.
You can upload your code and SAST results, and their AI will get to work analyzing them all without any upfront cost.
Free. You've definitely got my attention now.
All right.
What's the catch with this free version? Limited features, restricted usage.
There are some limitations, like project size restrictions.
Okay.
It's primarily designed to let you kick the tires and see the accuracy for yourself.
Mm.
For larger organizations or more demanding needs, they have an enterprise edition with full functionality.
That's smart. Let people experience the benefits firsthand and then scale up when they're ready.
Exactly.
Okay, let's break down the benefits for different players in the security game.
Right.
Let's start with the big picture. CISOs,
Okay.
those at the top worrying about overall risk.
Right.
How does EPA change their world?
For a CISO, it comes down to confidence and efficiency. With ETA reducing false positives, they can be more certain that the vulnerabilities being flagged are legitimate threats.
Yeah.
This allows for more focused resource allocation and quicker responses to actual risks.
So less time wasted chasing shadows and more time dedicated to strategic security planning. That makes sense.
Right.
But what about the people in the trenches,
Yeah.
the application security managers actually running the programs?
For them, it's about freeing up their teams from the drudgery of manual triage.
Right.
That means more time for proactive work like threat modeling, security architecture reviews, things that are harder to automate but crucial for a strong security posture.
I'm seeing a theme here, automation handling the tedious stuff.
Yeah.
Freeing up humans for the higher level thinking.
Exactly.
But what about the developers themselves?
Yeah.
They're often the ones feeling the most pain from false positives.
Right.
How does this change things for them?
This is where ETA can really shine.
Okay.
Imagine a developer getting clear, actionable vulnerability reports. Without the noise of false alarms,
Yeah.
they can focus on fixing real issues, ship code faster, and feel less friction between security requirements and their development goals.
So a happier, more productive development team,
Absolutely.
which ultimately leads to faster release cycles
Yeah.
and a competitive advantage.
Exactly. It's about aligning incentives. Security becomes an enabler rather than an obstacle. And with this free analyst edition, there's really no barrier to entry for teams to start experiencing these benefits.
All right, let's pause here for a moment. We've covered a lot of ground just in this initial look.
We have.
At Expert Triage Automation, we've
Yeah.
talked about its impressive accuracy,
Right.
the tech behind it, the tool-agnostic approach, and even a free way to try it out.
Yeah.
But there's always more to the story.
Indeed, we've only scratched the surface. The implications of this technology go beyond just triage.
Okay.
AppSec AI has a much broader vision for the future of application security.
Intriguing. Oh, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a moment to digest what we've learned.
Okay.
This ETA certainly seems like something worth exploring further.
Absolutely. Welcome back. Before we pause, we were discussing the potential of AppSec AI's expert triage automation to shake up the world of application security.
It's certainly got me thinking differently about how we approach finding and fixing vulnerabilities.
Okay.
But before I get carried away,
Sure.
I always like to poke at the potential downsides.
Right.
Even with this impressive 97% accuracy, there's got to be some limitations, right?
Of course, no technology is perfect, and AI is no exception. One thing to remember is that while ETA significantly reduces false positives, it doesn't eliminate them entirely.
So you're saying there's still a chance it could miss a real vulnerability or flag something incorrectly? That seems like a crucial point.
Absolutely.
Especially if teams start relying too heavily on the AI's judgment.
AppSec AI is very upfront about this. They emphasize that ETA is meant to augment human expertise, not replace it entirely. Right.
Security teams still need to be involved, reviewing the results, understanding the context, and making final decisions about remediation.
That makes sense. It's like having a really smart assistant.
Right.
But you wouldn't hand over the keys to the kingdom without some oversight.
Right.
So human expertise is still essential. What does that actually look like in practice?
Think of it as a collaboration.
Okay.
ETA handles the initial heavy lifting, sifting through the mountains of data and flagging potential issues.
Right.
This allows security analysts to focus their time on the more nuanced tasks.
Okay.
Verifying the findings, assessing the risk, and determining the best course of action.
Okay, so it's not just about speed.
Right.
It's about shifting focus towards more strategic security work.
Exactly.
But what about the impact on developers? We talked about how ETA can reduce those annoying false positives.
Yeah.
Are there other ways it changed their day-to-day experience?
One of the most impactful features of ETA is the way it presents vulnerability information to developers.
Instead of cryptic error messages that require a security degree to decipher, ETA provides clear, concise, and actionable guidance.
So it's less about, here's a line of code that might be a problem.
Right.
And more about, here's the issue, here's why it's a risk, and here's exactly how to fix it.
Precisely. And because ETA integrates with existing development workflows, this information is delivered right in the developer's IDE, eliminating the need to switch between tools or platforms.
This seems like a huge win for developer productivity and morale.
Absolutely.
No more jumping through hoops or deciphering cryptic security reports.
Exactly.
So less time spent on manual triage and more time for, say, threat modeling, security architecture design.
Exactly.
Or even educating developers on secure coding practices.
Right. It's about moving up the value chain, focusing on the strategic aspects of security that require human judgment, creativity, and the ability to adapt to constantly evolving threats.
It's almost like AI is forcing the security profession to level up.
Right.
Instead of being gatekeepers or code reviewers,
Yeah.
they become strategic advisors guiding organizations toward a more secure future.
That's a great way to put it. And this evolution is essential. As technology advances and attacks become more sophisticated, we need security professionals who can think critically, anticipate new threats, and develop innovative solutions.
But let's be realistic, even with this outlook, there must be some potential downsides or risks associated with relying too heavily on AI for security.
Of course, any new technology comes with its own set of challenges. Another concern is the possibility of adversarial attacks.
Okay.
As AI becomes more prevalent in security, attackers will inevitably try to find ways to exploit its weaknesses.
So like figuring out how to trick ETA into misclassifying a vulnerability or overlooking a critical threat, it sounds like a cat and mouse game where both sides are constantly evolving their tactics.
Exactly. And it underscores the need for ongoing research and development to stay ahead of the curve. We can't just assume that because an AI system is accurate today, it will be accurate tomorrow.
It's a reminder that security is a constantly evolving field.
Absolutely.
No silver bullets, just constant vigilance and adaptation.
Right.
But with those caveats in mind, how can organizations navigate this complex landscape and make sure they're using AI responsibly and effectively?
That's a great question. And it's something every organization needs to consider carefully.
Yeah.
One crucial step is to clearly define your security goals. And then evaluate how AI can help you achieve them.
So don't just jump on the AI bandwagon because it's trendy. Have a strategy, understand your needs, and choose solutions that align with your specific goals.
It's also crucial to partner with reputable vendors who are transparent about their technology, their testing methodologies, and their data privacy practices. Don't be afraid to ask tough questions.
Do your due diligence basically understand how the AI works, what data it's trained on, and how it handles sensitive information?
Precisely. And finally, remember that AI is a tool, not a replacement for human expertise. Invest in training and development for your security teams so they can effectively leverage AI and stay ahead of evolving threats.
It's about finding the right balance then. AI handling the repetitive tasks, humans providing the strategic guidance and oversight. But as AI continues to evolve, that balance will likely shift.
It will.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. So far, we've explored the capabilities of expert triage automation. How are security teams, developers, even executives reacting to this shift towards AI-driven security?
That's a crucial question, and one we'll explore in detail when we return for the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of AI and application security. We've been unpacking the potential of expert triage automation and how it's changing the game. But I'm curious about the human elements in all of this. How are people reacting to this shift towards AI-driven security?
It's fascinating to observe, actually. There's a mix of excitement and apprehension, which is understandable with any disruptive technology. Some security professionals see AI as a powerful ally, something that can amplify their capabilities and free them from the more tedious aspects of their jobs.
So instead of drowning in a sea of false positives, they can focus on the higher level strategic thinking and problem solving that humans are uniquely good at.
Precisely. They can be more proactive, anticipating threats and designing more robust security architectures. But there's also a valid concern among some professionals that AI could eventually automate them out of a job.
It's a fear we see across many industries, not just security. What's the path forward then? How do we ensure that security professionals don't become dinosaurs in the age of AI?
I think the key is adaptation and upskilling. Security professionals need to embrace the potential of AI and develop the skills to work alongside these intelligence systems. It's about learning to leverage the power of AI while still recognizing the value of human expertise.
So it's not about man versus machine. It's about man plus machine working together to achieve better security outcomes than either could alone.
Exactly. The security professionals who will thrive in this new era will be those who can combine their deep domain expertise with a strong understanding of AI and its capabilities.
It's about becoming fluent in the language of AI, so to speak.
Sure.
Now, what about the developers?
Sure.
They're often on the front lines dealing with the consequences of security vulnerabilities. How has their perception of security changed with the introduction of tools like ETA?
One of the most positive outcomes I've seen is the improved relationship between security and development teams.
All right.
Traditionally, there's been a bit of an adversarial dynamic with developers viewing security as a roadblock to innovation and security teams, frustrated by a perceived lack of security awareness among developers.
It's that classic tension between move fast and break things and make sure everything is locked down tight. Not exactly a recipe for a happy collaboration.
Exactly. But with AI taking over much of the burden of security testing and analysis, that dynamic is shifting. The developers are getting fewer false positives, which means less time wasted chasing fandom bugs and more time focused on building great software.
So less frustration, more productivity.
Absolutely.
And a more collaborative working relationship. That sounds like a win for everyone.
It is, and ultimately this improved relationship leads to better security outcomes. When developers feel empowered to participate in the security process, they're more likely to build secure code from the ground up.
It's a shift from reactive security to proactive security.
Exactly.
Building security into the DNA of the software rather than trying to bolt it on as an afterthought.
Precisely. And that's a much more effective and sustainable way to approach application security.
Now let's talk about the executives. The folks holding the purse strings. How are they reacting to this shift towards AI-driven security?
That's a great question.
I imagine they're pleased with the potential cost savings and efficiency gains.
That's certainly a factor, but it goes beyond just the bottom line.
Okay.
Forward-thinking executives are realizing that AI-driven security can give them a competitive advantage.
Okay. I'm intrigued. How so?
In today's digital landscape, security is paramount.
Right.
Consumers are increasingly concerned about data breaches and cyber attacks. And they're more likely to trust companies that demonstrate a strong commitment to protecting their data. AI-driven security can help organizations build that trust and differentiate themselves in the marketplace.
So it's not just about protecting data, it's about protecting reputation and brand loyalty.
Exactly. In a world where a single breach can have catastrophic consequences, AI is no longer a nice-to-have, it's a must-have. Smart executives are investing in AI-driven security solutions because they understand it's essential for their long-term success.
It sounds like AI is fundamentally changing the application security landscape.
It is.
But looking ahead, what are some of the trends and developments you're most excited about? So AI is not only changing the tools we use for security, it's changing the way we think about security itself.
Absolutely.
It's pushing us towards a more data-driven, proactive, and integrated approach.
Absolutely. And I believe this shift is going to have a profound impact on how we build and protect software in the years to come.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of expert triage automation and the broader trends shaping the future of application security.
It has.
I've learned a ton, and I'm sure our listeners have too. Any final thoughts for our audience before we wrap up?
The key takeaway is this. AI is transforming application security, and those who embrace this change will have a significant advantage. Whether you're a security professional, a developer, or an executive, it's time to start thinking about how AI can help you secure your applications, protect your data, and build a more secure future.
Explore the possibilities, stay curious, and never stop learning. The future of security is here, and it's powered by AI. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.
Wow, was that crazy. I will be monitoring these too. Check back for the next episode of Overheard, AI's talk about application security.